Your Facebook pixel is one of the most important parts of running successful Facebook and Instagram ads, but your pixel alone is not enough. We really need to pair your pixel with Facebook's standard events to make sure that you can not only track everything that's taking place, but that you can optimize and improve your ad results, increasing your return on investment. I am literally going to walk you through every single step that you need to take to either set up a brand new pixel from scratch or check that an existing pixel is set up properly, and we're going to go through those standard events. First and foremost, what is a Facebook pixel and what does it do? Simply put, this is a piece of code that's going to be installed on your website, your funnels, or landing pages, and is also tied to your social media and ad accounts that's going to show Facebook exactly who your audience is, what they're doing, and most importantly, will allow you to tell Facebook what you want to see more of so that you can get the very best results possible. The first thing that you're going to need to have is access to your Facebook Ads Manager or Business Manager account. You're also going to need back-end login access to your website, landing page builder, or funnel builder. And you're also going to make sure that if you already have a Facebook pixel, that you know that pixel ID and that it's actually in your account. Let's go ahead and get started. Go to Facebook Business Manager, and then we are going to click on Business Settings. Click on the Data Sources drop-down. There will be a tab titled Pixels. Once we click on that, we will see every existing pixel that is already inside of your business manager with a name and who owns it. When you click on that pixel, you're also going to see the pixel ID. This pixel ID is how you're going to be able to verify that the right pixel is installed on your website or pages. I have a lot of different pixels in this account, but these are not all pixels for my website. These are pixels for clients and students and people that I'm working with. A lot of times I see people have 10 or 20 pixels for their own business. That's simply not necessary. One pixel can really go on any of your digital assets. The only time that you would want to create a secondary pixel is if the audience for the business is completely different. If you have a commercial real estate company and a residential real estate company, they're not the same demo. Because of that, you may not want to group them together. However, there's also nothing wrong with having the same pixel and using different standard events to track the actions that are taking place. So if you already have a pixel, like I mentioned, you'll see it right here on the screen. Click to copy and paste it in somewhere like a Google Doc or your notes, because we want to make sure that we're keeping track of this as we go through the process so that it's easier to verify later. If you do not have a Facebook pixel, we're simply going to click on the Add button, and then it's going to say Allie Bloyd Media's pixel. You can name this pixel whatever you want. You are the only person that will see this name. It's going to say check your website for easy setup options. You can do that, but I prefer to install the pixel using code. It does say optional, so just know you can click continue without having to put that in. You'll now see a screen that asks you if you're ready to set up your pixel. We have continue managing my business, which will allow you to set it up later, or set up the pixel now. We're going to click set up the pixel now. You then have three separate options. We are going to click on manually add pixel code to website. As you can see, we are going to be able to simply click this button and copy our entire base code right then and there. There's a couple of things that you're going to want to look at on this screen. Turn on automatic advanced matching. We do want to turn that on. That's going to allow Facebook to better track the visitors that are going to your site, that are engaging with your business, matching that activity up with the user profile. Step number 3 is to test the base code. I'm going to show you how to install this base code on 2 different types of websites. This is a WordPress site, which I found is probably the most common type of website. The way that I prefer to do this is to use a plugin called Insert Headers and Footers. You're simply going to go to Plugins and Add New. You'll type in Insert Headers and Footers in the search box. You're going to see that pull up, and you will click on Install now. Once that's installed, you do want to click on the Activate button in your Plugins tab. You're then going to hover over the Settings tab, and you will see Insert Headers and Footers. The very first section says Scripts in Header. You want to double check that you don't already have a Facebook pixel code there. We're simply going to paste what we just copied from that dialog box. Then we're going to hit Save. Now we are inside Business Manager, and I'm going to type in my URL so that we can confirm that it is sending traffic. So the next part of the dialog box is your standard events. Standard events are really what Facebook is using to determine the actions that people are specifically taking in relation to your ad account, your Facebook or Instagram page, or on your website. There are two different ways to set this up. The first way would be to use Facebook's event setup tool. The second way is to manually add this event code. While Facebook's event setup tool can be really simple and easy, it has been known to have glitches and have problems that will prevent you from being able to add that code at all. So the first thing I'm going to do is click on manually add event code. You are then going to see a list of all of these different event codes. When you click on a drop down, for example, schedule, it's going to give you a 3-line piece of code. Go ahead and copy that code to the clipboard. Every single piece of event code looks exactly the same. The only difference is the word. If I were to change it to complete registration right here, one word, no spaces, and the first letter of each word does in fact need to be capitalized. You really can customize this piece of code on your own without having to go back into Business Manager. Save this snippet of code along with your base code and your Pixel ID all in one document so that you have everything there and can pull from it at any time. And I've also listed out 4 different events that I personally think I'm going to use. Now that we've installed your base code on a website, I want to show you how you can add your code to individual landing pages. You can use the website event setup tool with a funnel builder, but I much prefer to do it individually because we're already going to be going in, adding the code, changing the metadata, and this is a really easy step to add in. So the first thing that you want to do is go to your preferred landing page builder. Most of them are set up fairly similarly, so you should be able to navigate to this section pretty easily. And we can install the base code in the overall funnel, not on an individual page. You're going to go into the settings. There's going to be a section that says head tracking code. We're simply going to paste that same base code in that same spot and hit save. In order to do these on your individual funnel pages, we're actually going to go to our very first page and we're going to take a look at this funnel first. What types of events should we be installing? This is an example of one of my 5-day challenge funnels. The first page is the opt-in page. Is an event taking place on that page? And if so, how would I know? I could install my standard event code for complete registration on the second page because somebody's going to end up on the second page if they complete that registration, or I could use the event setup tool to track the button that would be clicked when somebody completes that registration. Click edit on the individual funnel step. Then we're going to go into settings and tracking code is the second option down. Once I've got my tracking code dialog box open, I am going to paste the entire pixel code first because I did not set this pixel code up on the funnel as a whole. So now I have added those 3 simple lines right below my pixel code and I'm going to hit save. Now I'm going to save the funnel page and then I'll also show you how to use the event setup tool, which is what I would suggest after your base code has been installed on something like WordPress, Wix, Squarespace, or any other type of website builder that's not a landing page or funnel builder. So we need to go back into Business Manager. We are going to the Events Manager tab. I have selected the same pixel that I've installed on my website and funnel. I've got different events. You can see that they each have a green dot underneath that event and it says active. In order to go ahead and use this event setup tool, we are going to find this button that says add events. Once you click on the drop down, you are going to select the option that says from the pixel. I simply need to click on open event setup tool, and then I'm going to type in the website URL of the page in which I want to track. We're going to take a look at one of the pages I already have a pixel installed on. As you can see, it says Facebook event setup tool on this left-hand side. It says events on this page. No events found on this page. That does not mean your pixel is not installed. It means you don't have any of the standard events added to this specific page. You would not even be able to pull up this dialog box if your pixel base code was not installed. So that is a really great sign that you've done every step up until this point properly. I'm gonna select to track the specific button on this page, and I am going to select the lead event because when someone clicks on this button, they become a lead. Try and choose the thing that is the closest to what you believe is happening when somebody clicks on that button. I'm then going to click confirm. It's gonna show me any events I've added on this page because you can add more than one with the event setup tool, and then I'm gonna click finish. I have my standard event set up on that specific page. I know that my Pixel base code was set up on that specific page. And now I know that if I go back to our events management area, I should see a green dot with the word active next to the lead event. I go to that very same URL so that I can give it some test traffic. And we are gonna do that actually in the Facebook Pixel Helper plugin. If you don't have it installed, it'll say add to Chrome. And once it's installed, you now wanna pin it to the top of your browsing window. Now you're gonna verify that that domain and that URL that we've added your Facebook pixel to and the page that we've added your standard events to is actually installed properly. We're gonna take a look at my thank you for booking a call page. So as soon as somebody schedules a call, they're gonna land on this page. You're gonna be able to see that Facebook Pixel Helper plugin right up top. It's blue, so we know that there is a pixel installed, but I actually wanna click on that so I can take a look. The first thing we're gonna do is verify that Pixel ID is in fact accurate. The second thing we're gonna do is look for these check marks to tell us which events are tracked on this page. Page view is tracked on every single page in which the pixel is installed. So that should always have a green check mark, but you'll also see the word schedule with a check mark next to it. That means that that standard event was installed successfully and correctly, and it is tracking. Most of the time, I want to track the page that they go to after that event has been submitted. If you are not redirecting people to new pages, if you're using a success message that says, thank you for submitting your form, we'll get back to you as soon as possible, and they never go to another page, you have to use the event setup tool in order to track this. The only downside to using the event setup tool, especially with buttons, is that you may not see that tracked in the Facebook Pixel Helper because it's not tracking the URL, it's tracking one specific element on that page. If you are redirecting someone to a thank you page or to a next steps page or any type of alternate destination, I do prefer to manually add that event code so that you can ensure that it's done 100% accurately every single time. You may think that you're done, but there are still 2 more critical steps that you need to take right now. There's gonna be a video on your screen. You can click on that video and start the process of your domain verification and your aggregated events management tab. Both of these were introduced with the iOS 14 update and are very important now that those changes are enacted. Go ahead, click on that video and you will be done before you know it.